Dear students, we are continuing with the revision of our chapter Decision Making System in the Company. The topics which are on the left hand side are the topics which have been already covered in the previous session. They are Introduction, Section 101, Agenda, Section 103, Section 105. The topics that are going to be covered in today's session are motion, its meaning and provisions, voting, its meaning and the methods of voting, section 114, which is resolution, its types, and ordinary versus special resolution, section 115, resolution requiring special notice. Moving on to our first topic, which is motion. What do you mean by a motion? A motion is a proposal put forward before a meeting for its consideration and adoption. In short, the bill that is presented in the meeting for discussion is called a motion. The motion is the first step towards forming a resolution. It should be clear and in written, with the sign of the person proposing it. A person who puts forth the motion in the meeting is called a proposer or a mover. The motion should be within the scope of the agenda. The motion is presented in the meeting and all the members, directors, auditors give their views on the topic. Only then the chairman gives his or her consent. Moving on to some question and answers. The first question is, can there be changes to the original motion presented? Yes, there can be changes made to the original motion presented. The changes are known as amendments. The second question is, what is adjournment of a motion? When the members present in the meeting cannot reach a fixed decision on the motion, then the motion is adjourned or postponed to a later date. The mover of the motion feels that additional information is required for further discussion and the decisions should be delayed for a particular time. Then the adjournment of the motion takes place. Moving on to the third question. When can a chairman adjourn the meeting? The first case is when a quorum is not formed, that is, when minimum number of members are not present in the meeting, the chairman will adjourn the meeting. The second, if he feels that the proceedings of the meeting cannot run peacefully, there are no concrete decisions taking place, and there is too much of disturbance and commotion. Also, then, the chairman adjourns the meeting. The third point is, as per the provisions in the Article of Association, if the majority of the members ask for adjournment of the meeting, the chairman needs to adjourn the meeting. The fourth point is, if any special event takes place, say there is a misfortunate death of a great leader or an important person of the company, then to pay respect and honor to the person, the chairman may adjourn the meeting. Moving on to our next topic, which is voting. What do you mean by voting? Voting means to express your opinion in a formal way. Company is a small kind of a democracy, and in a democracy, there is no partiality. Everybody is allowed to give their opinion on matters. The management is therefore carried out democratically. After discussion on the motion in a meeting, it is put to vote for knowing the opinion of the members. Voting is necessary. Each shareholder has the right to vote on each motion in a lawful manner. Moving on to the methods of voting. There are 7 methods. The first one is voting by voice. Under this method, the members are requested to say yes if they are in favor of the motion or say no if they are against the motion. Decision is taken on the basis of the volume of the voice. This method is rarely exercised as it is very difficult to note whether the majority is saying yes or no. The second one is voting by show of hands. This method is used in the general meetings of a company. After the discussion on the motion, the chairman requests the members to raise their hands in favor or against the motion. Those who say yes would raise their hands, and those who say no would keep their hands down. The chairman declares the result by counting the number of hands in favor of the proposal. The third one is voting by division. Under this method, present members are divided into two groups. Members in favor and those against the matter are asked to go to different rooms. Those members saying yes will be in one room, those members saying no will be in another room. Then the trend of the meeting is ensured by counting, and then the chairman declares the result. Moving on to the fourth method, which is voting by ballot. Under this method, to record the vote, ballot papers are distributed to every member and they deposit in the ballot box. The votes are counted and the result is declared. This method maintains secrecy in voting, similar to the method that we used to use during elections earlier. Next, we move on to see voting by poll. Poll can be demanded after the declaration of the result by show of hands. Under this method, each member can vote in proportion to the number of shares held by him. Polling papers are given to the members and they need to fill it and return it back. Next, we have voting by postal ballot. The central government may prescribe certain companies to have voting by postal ballot. The ballot papers are sent by post to the members and they need to duly fill them and post it back to the company. The last method, the seventh method, is voting electronically. The central government may prescribe certain companies for having compulsory electronic voting in the general meeting. Members may exercise their right to vote by electronic means. This is a very common practice which is adopted across all the companies nowadays. Next, we see moving on to our topic, which is resolution. What do you mean by a resolution? The motion that is accepted in a meeting and sanctioned by the members is called a resolution. A resolution is the formal and final decision of a meeting. The resolution is the final step of the motion. No discussion is allowed on the resolution. Every resolution should be recorded in the minutes book. The number of members voting in favor and against the resolution should be mentioned. Can a resolution be amended? No. A resolution cannot be amended or altered or changed. It is said, not every motion is a resolution, but every resolution is a motion. Can you all tell me why it is said so? The answer is, not all motions get accepted in a meeting. The motions that get accepted and sanctioned in the meeting form resolutions. Moving to the next types of resolution. We have ordinary resolution, special resolution, and resolution requiring special notice. Now, we shall discuss each of them in detail. The first one is ordinary resolution. What do you mean by an ordinary resolution? An ordinary resolution is a resolution passed by the shareholders of a company by a simple majority, meaning more than 50% of the votes should be in favor of the motion. An ordinary resolution need not be submitted to the registrar of the companies. An ordinary resolution is the most common method by which a corporate entity conducts its business, or the board of directors seek the shareholders' approval on their actions. The following topics may be taken up in an ordinary resolution: approval of statutory report, alteration or changes in the share capital, how much dividend to be declared, approval of the directors, approval of audit report, and approval of the final accounts, election of the directors, appointment of secretary, appointment of auditors, and how much money or remuneration will be paid to them. These all are examples of ordinary resolution. Moving on to the next, special resolution. What do you mean by a special resolution? A special resolution of a company means a resolution passed by a majority of not less than 75%. That is, it is passed by 3/4 or 75% majority. The number of votes in favor of the motion should be 3 times of the votes casted against the motion. That is, 3/4. The purpose of the resolution as a special resolution is duly specified in the notice. It means the purpose should be mentioned in the notice of the meeting. A copy of the special resolution must be filed with the Registrar of Companies through its e-filing on the MCA portal within 30 days of passing the resolution. Next, when is a special resolution passed? A special resolution could be passed when there is a change in the name of the company, or when there are amendments in the Articles of Association, or if there is a shift in the registered office of the company from one state to another, or if the company wants to reduce its capital, or if the company is going into liquidation. These are few examples of special resolution. There may be many more topics or tasks on which a special resolution may be passed. On to the next. Ordinary resolution versus special resolution. This is a table that gives us the difference between ordinary resolution and special resolution. The first column gives us the basis for comparison. Let's see what is the difference in the meaning of ordinary resolution and special resolution. When, at the general meeting, simple majority is required to move the resolution, it is known as an ordinary resolution. Whereas, when, at the general meeting, supermajority is required to pass the resolution, it is known as a special resolution. The consent of members. In an ordinary resolution, at least 51% members have to be in favor of the motion, whereas 75% of the members have to be in favor of the motion in case of a special resolution. Registration with the Registrar of Companies. A copy of the ordinary resolution should be filed with the Registrar of Companies in certain cases. It is not necessary that all ordinary resolutions will be filed with the Registrar of Companies. Only certain need to be filed. Whereas, in case of a special resolution, a copy of the special resolution must be filed with the Registrar of Companies. All the special resolution copies have to be filed with the Registrar of Companies. Next, we move on to business transacted. Ordinary resolutions are passed in the ordinary or normal course of a business, while special resolutions are passed in special cases such as change in the name of a company, etc. Moving on to matters related to each type of vote. This includes all the examples that we have covered earlier on ordinary resolution and on special resolution. Moving on to our next topic, which is resolution requiring special notice. This section states that some resolutions require special notice as per the Companies Act or Articles of Association of the company. Such resolutions are called resolutions requiring special notice. Special notice resolution may be either ordinary or special resolutions. A proposer of the motion has to give a special notice of 14 days to the company. This has to be given in advance. The company then has to give a notice of that resolution to all its members at least 7 days before the meeting. A few examples on resolution requiring special notice: resolution to appoint director other than retiring directors, resolution to appoint a person as an auditor other than a retiring auditor, resolution to remove a director before the expiry term. These are just a few examples. There are many more cases